Alright everybody, what is happening? So today is going to be a Nitro engine showdown. So we have the 18, 21, 25, 27, 28, 30, 32, 36, 36, 46. And it just died. Anyway, this is all the Nitro engines showdown. I was going to call it a big block showdown if I took away, the OS 18TZ, but hey, just why not include it in the video, right? Alright. So, here we have the OS 18TZ. Did they still make them? No, these engines are discontinued. They're long gone. I'm not sure if I can find a piston sleeve for this thing. I mean, like, it still has some good pinch, but I just like to have some little backup. I'm probably gonna get this running again soon on either on my Nitro Rustler or my Nitro Sport. Here we have the Novarossi Mito 421. This is the badass engine. Have a look at it closer. Do you see the way how the intake goes versus your average basher engine? Okay, look, see, here's the center. It's a little bit tilted to the side. Somebody sent me some dumbass text messages in Spanish, which I cannot read. Anyway, I'll probably get this running soon. Maybe if I get, let's say, like a Jado whatsoever. I was thinking to fit this onto either my Nitro Rustler. Yes, I know for how big this thing is. Oh my gosh, look at that. I wish I could fit it onto my Nitro Rustler, but I don't think I can. The only way I could probably fit this on is to, let's say, if I get a lot like a Jado whatsoever that has a big block engine mount. Anyway, here is the HPI 25 star. I know it's very dirty. Actually, this is the one I pull out from from the shit ass box that I just pulled out after I got those three other trucks. I was gonna also shoot like a Trax. I was also gonna put the Traxxas 3.3, but it's very crusty and it won't look too appealing. So yeah, probably in the next video. The Super Tiger 4.4 or 0.27. I thought that Thunder Tiger made these engines. I think obviously it's forced. I am not sure because because the carburetor, let's say like the HPI carburetor and the Force carburetor is the same thing like this Super Tiger carburetor, except has like a cut short crank because they like fitted onto one of those Durtrax Warhead monster trucks. But I had those a little while ago, and I got rid of them because I don't have parts for them, and I couldn't get them running. Here we have the SH28 P3, a big block. Yeah, I actually unscrew the head bolts because I'm probably going to do it to all of them to do, let's say, like displacements, things, stuff like that in the bit. Anyway, the SH28 P3, it actually makes some really good power. I'll admit, if you run like a really good tune pipe whatsoever, let's say like a HPI Savage tune pipe. Here, I'll show you on the bit. Alright, this is the HPI Savage tune pipe I was talking about, because it has a really large stinger. Yeah, forgive me guys, it still has some crap inside it. I'll clean it out soon. But as you can see, this is a nice tune pipe. I'm running this with my LRP32, and boy, this pipe really wakes up these engines. And if it wakes up this engine, it's probably going to work at all Nitro engines. I can't wait to see in the future. And also in the near future, I'm probably going to invest in getting some Traxxas. I'm sorry, not Traxxas. Extreme RC mods and bleed pipe to get a couple of them for one of my Savages and stuff like that. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty badass and loud. Okay, speaking Anyway, it's Dynamite. Yeah, actually, also SH makes engines for Dynamite too, like the 21, 26, Mach 2, and Big Red. They also make them for them too. And also for the LRP. Next to LRP is this Hyper 30 Turbo. It's actually a badass engine, lots of power for this thing. I think this makes nearly 4.0 horsepower, but it actually gains more RPM than the LRP is because it has a special starting system. I think crank off pull starts. I think that's what the COPS stands for. Please guys, don't call it COPS, okay? Anyway, so when you pull the pull start whatsoever, it has this it has some kind of weird tracking system. Not tracking system, but it's like a little device that retracts and turns over the engine, and then when the engine starts up, the piston kicks it back and it retracts. So basically, it's like you're running, let's just say that it's a pull start and the back plate engraded to one. Let's just say that. I'm probably going to take it apart in the video to show y'all how it looks like. We'll see. But yeah, pretty good engine whatsoever, lots of power. Probably the most popular super big block in the Nitro world, the LRP 32. This engine right here is a powerhouse. Lots of power. I think it makes more power than Hyper 30 whatsoever. I think it's probably maybe like a little bit 4.5 or something horsepower rating. I think it makes more horsepower when it's running a backplate. As you can see, this is a spec 4.1. So this is the latest big block engine that LRP has provided for us. This is a Novorossi carburetor. Now a little while ago, I was actually talking to Nova. They used to make Novorossi engines, but then since the owner passed away, and COVID has kicked them in the rear butt or something like that. They kind of went out of business, but then they have opened their doors again, but then is under like a new contract and a new name. Besides Novorossi, it's just called Nova. So anyway, I was like messaging them that I was messaging them like if their carburetors like this, like if one of their newer carburetors will fit onto the older Novorossi engines, like the Nitro, for example. And then they told me, yes, but the carburetors need like a special insulator that they should provide. I'll see if it's true or not. So that's gonna be in the near future to see if one of the brand new Nova carburetors will fit onto let's say like an LRP 32. Well, probably with some modifications. Meanwhile, here we have those two HPI big block monsters right here. Oh, sorry about that. We have the HPI K5.9 and the HPI F5.9. These are both great powerhouses. I think this engine makes slightly more RPM than this engine. The K5.9 I think makes slightly more RPM than the F5.9, but I think the F5.9 probably makes a little bit more horsepower than the K5.9. I think somebody a little while ago mentioned both of these carburetors are the same. Well, guess what? They don't. It's because this is a force engine, and come on, stand still. And I think this is a I think King Star was making engines for HPI a little while ago. Like the K4.6 and the K5.9. Those are really hot engines. I'm glad I have one actually, but I'll see if I can get my hands on one of the K4.6 because I heard those are really good engines. Also, they make lots of power. And sorry guys, I was just reading text message. I think this is an 8.5 inch Venturi, and this is probably 9 inches, 9.5 millimeters Venturi on the f5.9, and probably this is like 9.5, not 9 millimeters Venturi on the K5.9. So yeah, those are just two big block beasts. And here we have probably the biggest block for all Nitro engines. Or probably, you know, like the associated 8.0. Yeah, that's like a helicopter engine. This one, here we have this airplane engine for a surface vehicle. Man, why is the road start facing the weird way? Who cares? Anyway, this is the Force or the Hot Bodies 7.7 or the .46 super big block. This is actually a real powerhouse right here. It probably not the highest RPM rating engine, but man, this engine makes, you know, tons and tons of horses, lots of torque. Yeah, I've had this similar engine like this before, but it was the Sen 7.7, and I had this Sen Genesis whatsoever, and boy, that sucker was like a pulling up wheelies whatsoever. Like, no, it was endless. You know, it was a kind of slow whatsoever when it went topped out, but I think it can be done. You know, I think it can be done. You know, when we. Okay, sorry guys, I'm getting a little off track here. I think it can be done. You know, if you get this engine modified and stuff like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and take off all the heads at all the engines. All right, after 20 minutes of, you know, unbolting every cooling heads on each engines. So okay, here's the OS 18 TZ. Here's the Novarossi 21. Actually, judging by looks, actually looks like the 18 TZ actually has a little bit of a bigger, a little bit of a wider diameter than a 21. Here you have a 25, HPI 25 star. About maybe a little bit about the same, except this one has a longer stroke. A Super Tiger 4.4 or 27. Just look inside. It's basically 3 ports. Down the bottom, you have down the bottom of the crank. You know, let's have a look. Bottom crank. Yep, this is a 3-port engine as well. Now for the Novarossi, looks like it has a longer stroke. Sorry guys, this is hard to do one-handed. This was actually, I rebuilt this engine last year. Yeah, looks like that's a Nova. Come on, looks like that the Novarossi has a bit of a longer stroke, but versus that was 18 TZ. Okay, let's count how many ports. Well, I'm a little bit lazy, guys, so forgive me. 1, 2, maybe 5 ports. I could be wrong. Maybe it has some bypasses too. I'm not sure. Okay, and here we have the 28P3. Of course, is the 3-port as is mentioned, and the Hyper 30 is also a 3-port engine. Man, actually the piston and sleeve are actually in really good shape. Actually, still has some pinch left. You have a 3-port engine. Oh, I'm gonna take off the crank in a bit after I put all the heads back together. And here we have the LRP 32 spec 4.1. I believe this is a 7 port. Okay. Also has a bypass in the bottom. 1, 2. You have 5 and 6 and 7, which are bypasses in the bottom. Is a spec 4.1. I guess a spec 4 is 5 ports and a 7, and spec 4.1 is a 7 port, which this is a 7 port big block engine. Here we have the HPI K5.9. So 1, 2. So this is a 6 port engine. Lots of power for this sucker. And actually this is like 19 millimeters. This is the F5.9 is a 20 millimeter diameter sleeve, piston sleeve. Actually, going back to LRP, I think this is maybe 18 and 18 millimeters in diameter. I think I am not quite sure actually. Or you know what? Let me pull out my calipers. Okay, I got my calipers. Well, my battery's slowly dying. Okay, let's measure from the inside. Be careful not to scratch the ends. Careful. Let's just call it. Okay, careful not to scratch the ends. So this is basically a 16 millimeters diameter. Now let's go for the Nova Rossi. Careful, don't scratch the ends. And this is less than 16 millimeters, so let's say it's like 1598. This is 1588. Okay, going to the. So this is like 17.5 millimeters, man. Okay, let me take off the lighting. Sucks ass. Yeah, my battery's slowly dying on those calipers. Come on. 17.5. Dude, you're ruining your engines. Well, I mean, I'm not like forcing it. I'm just trying to be as careful as I can. Make sure I'm not leaving any heavy scratches. Okay, this is 18 millimeters, so this is a bigger diameter than the Superman. Okay, there you go. Bigger than Superman. Joking. A bigger diameter than 25. Okay, on the 18. 1848 millimeters. I'm going to the Hyper 30 Turbo. 19. So 1926. Going to LRP 32 big block. 1959, so a little bit bigger. Man, so much lighting glare. I mean, the battery, is slowly dying. 1959 or like 19 millimeters and 60. Now on. Sorry, the air filter's in the way. Now the K5.9. 20 millimeters. 20 millimeters and 11, Huh, this is actually 21. I thought this is 19, but this actually is 20. This is almost 21 millimeters. Man, I didn't notice that. Okay, I lied. So this is 20. So this is like 20.5 millimeters, a little bit bigger than the K5.9. Last but not least, $21 and 70. 2170 basically. So yeah, guys, there's a little bit of a shootout, a big small block, well, I'll just call it a Nitro engine shootouts between 18 all the way up to 46. I don't apparently have the AE 8.0. I think I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry, hang on. Well, I haven't sneezed yet. Anyway, that's a little bit of a big block shootout. I can't say big block whatsoever. But anyway, this is a little bit of a Nitro engine showdown or shootout, whatever it's called. So yeah, don't worry. I'm gonna clean some. I'm gonna clean some of the engines up. So I'm gonna do this in the flash. All right, so I took it off. Here's a crankshaft of the engine. Wow, I'm actually real surprised. It's it's very clean inside. I guess this engine has been barely ran as what I've heard. And this engine is in tip-top shape, well, besides being dirty. Now this is the system I was talking about. So once you pull the engine, you see how it retracts or extends. And then it turns over the engine. Now once the pin of the crankshaft is fired, it comes back this way and kicks this side or this side. Watch this. Pushes back in. I do feel some resistance, and let me take it apart to see. Alright. You guys see those tiny ribs? Well, oh my gosh, man, this camera won't focus. My gosh. Probably gonna need an upgrade. Alright. Now, do you see the little pinball? Now, I think that pinball is spring-loaded, so that way it can, prevent it, from free spinning, so that way it won't fall out, cause some catastrophic damage to the engine, which we don't want. Now, putting back in, you just slot it back in. Speaking of that, you'll see those the pin inside there. But I think that little ball, that spring-loaded ball on top, actually prevents it from popping out, which also adds resistance. My gosh, sorry guys, it's hard to do with one-handed. Okay. Oh, it got back in. Yep. So once again, once you turn over, once you pull the pull start, it extends. And then when not piston, but when the crankshaft pin hits it, pops back in. So it's technically like a back plate and a pull start all in one. But once the engine's running, there's nothing connected to the back of it. So probably the engine's gonna make some more RPM, which is what I'm gonna throw down my other Savage that's working, because I yanked it out from another Savage that's broken whatsoever. But the engine is actually in a tip-top shape. So yes, it's ready to go. Gonna have to inspect the clutch whatsoever, because I'm not sure what clutch setup this guy was running, so I'm gonna have to pull it out. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this teardown video, and to do a comparison at each cylinder, small block, and then the rest of the big blocks and super big blocks. But yeah, guys, stay tuned for more videos, and thanks for watching. And shout out to the Bug 404. Keep burning nitro, y'all.